greetings. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I want to give a special acknowledgement and shout out to all the living legends that's out there. I am wearing my Living Legend crop top hoodie set. Let me stand up so y'all can see. Okay, Living Legends in the building by yours truly. Today is Monday. Heute ist Montag. Okay, September the 1st is here already. Already here, y'all. And ironically, we are basically 75% through this year. And it seems like time just went by like this, y'all. Time just went by so fast. It's craziness. Y'all might hear some noise in the background. One of my neighbors, I think they're working on their yard. um, so today's message is living legend. Stop ignoring yourselves, right? We have to stop ignoring ourselves. And I think we have been trained to ignore ourselves. Why do I say this, y'all? I say this because basically, hold on, I'm being nosy right now. I was watching this live stream by King Simon, and I think his live stream is already over. Yeah, it's over now. But yeah, check out King Simon too. If you ever get a chance, tap onto one of his live streams. He talks about numerology and how numbers really impact our lives more than what we know. And if you didn't know this, a lot of people in politics, a lot of people that you think are influential, such as the celebrities that y'all like to call them, they do practice numerology in ways that we were never introduced to. And I don't see anything wrong with it because numbers are very powerful. Numbers can be magical. You can invoke certain energy when you tap into numbers. All right. And I didn't realize how powerful and influential numbers were until I started following King Simon, y'all. My hair is so freaking frizzy, y'all. I know I say this every time I come on here. But anyway, let me make sure I can hear and see myself on here because y'all know how it is. A lot of times I can't find myself on YouTube. Oh, okay, Eden, what's good? How you doing? So I am live because I got some people coming in. So we want to talk about not ignoring yourselves, being your own living legend. Hi, are you come on 14? Eden and come on 14. How are you doing? I'm glad you're doing good. Scotty Jenkins, what's up? And what do we mean by not ignoring ourselves? So, like, you know how people try to tell you, "How's my day, Luis Daniel?" My day is pretty easy going right now. I need to go get something to eat, and I need to get out of the house. I haven't left the house yet. Thank you, come on, 14. Thank you for saying that. You like my earrings? Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I just wanted to come on and talk to y'all today and just let y'all know that you can actually create being your own powerful living. God bless you too. You can be your own living legend by not ignoring yourself, basically by fulfilling what makes you feel fulfilled in life and happy. Thank you for the like, by the way. And what that means is entailing not having someone to define what you should do with your life. You know, sometimes people like to set things in place for you before you actually get to tap into what you really want in life. So sometimes you don't really know yourself until you get older, and it's okay because I feel that even when you're a child, people like to put labels on people because you might be good at something and then your interests change. That does not necessarily mean that you have to go into that field. Devon, I know you did not just type that in my chat section. Sometimes, yeah, I'm sorry. I digress. Sometimes you don't have to necessarily go into the field of what others put on you or label that others put on you because your interest changes in life. Your calling is different, and you have to go within yourself to kind of like get that ear to hear yourself. You have to sometimes disconnect from the outer world and go into your own universe to tap into what it is that makes you feel that you have an interest in something, what makes you feel fulfilled in life, what makes you feel motivated to get up and face the world. There are so many people that get up every single day, and I've been through it. Not to say that anything is wrong with having a job, but like certain jobs, some people are really struggling, with going out there. A lot of times, some people are struggling with being able to get up and stuff. And it's because your inner divine voice, your higher being, is really telling you that this is not what was meant for you. It's just probably a way to make some money, a way for you to survive, a way for you to have benefits and do all those things. And that's okay for the time being. But while you're doing that, my best advice is to navigate um, a parallel world for yourself. So outside of your job, do something that you have an interest in, whether it's a hobby. And it could be just a hobby for right now, but later on, that could actually take the place of what you're doing full time. There have been a lot of people that have been successful in doing that. So, you know, these things go on, and I don't know why people really, really be wanting. Hold on one second, y'all. People be wanting so much attention, and y'all just gonna get reported and blocked from the channel doing saying stupid stuff. Hold on one second. People like, I don't know, they like to come on here, and I guess they love my energy so much. Yes, come on. He's very weird. Come on, I'm gonna make you a moderator. Okay, so if you see anything, go ahead and you know what to do. Okay. You know what to do with these people. I don't have time for the nonsense, y'all. I'm too grown. I'm too mature. I'm too old for that. And I think sometimes people look at my channel and they look at me, and this is a thing that I faced in life. Also, I want to say this to people that are kind of young. A lot of times you will get stigmatized, you'll get stereotyped, and people think you're naive and that you don't have any sense because you look young, you sound young, or you are young. And I remember one time I got very offended one day. I was at work. I didn't really get that offended because I didn't take offense to it, but it was just a dumb comment that a coworker made. And we were all working, and she didn't know my age. So when she found out how old I was and I told her, she was like she was a little bit older than me, and she was like, at that time, she was 26. And she said, "Oh, I remember when I was that age, young and dumb." And so the coworker that was sitting next to me was like, "Oh, I can't believe that she said that to you." Basically, like she's practically calling you dumb. But I didn't take it that way because I always knew that I was never dumb. I was always highly intellectual and intelligent, even at an early age. And I had people telling me that I was so poised, I was so mature for my age, even from high school. So that really didn't offend me, but I think people get things misconstrued when they try to judge people by their age. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of younger people in the younger generation. You're welcome, come on. Hi, are you doing, Amanda? There are a lot of people out here that are younger, and they are figuring out life a lot quicker and a lot sooner than older people. So what I mean by that is you have a lot of young people that now that they're introduced to so much knowledge out here by way of social media and different, technology, that they are able to actually make life easier for themselves. Whereas the older generation didn't have access to that. So they felt like you have to work hard in order to actually gain a living in life. And I don't necessarily believe that working harder is always the answer to everything. I think sometimes you do have to work hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I believe that you have to work smarter. Now you can work hard and pair that with working smarter, and you may be a lot far more successful. But I don't necessarily believe that everything has to be a struggle and a challenge. And I also feel that the older generation, if you have some type of knowledge that is valuable, to share that with the younger generation instead of criticizing and ridiculing. Because what we have to understand is the world has changed from, just coming up in society. The world is changing like very rapidly every 5 to 10 years. So we cannot expect people to do the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We can't expect for that to be the same results for today because it's not going to work like that. So that's the thing where I feel like there's divisiveness, and we need to stop with the disconnect with the older generation and the younger generation. Let me see what y'all are saying. Remember, be nice and like and subscribe. Thank you. Come on. Nobody has the right to say that to you at work, though, should be terminated. Well, she said it. Business is about seeking leverage, which is working less hard. Yes, and indeed, I agree. Go from freelancing to sales to automated sales. So yes, absolutely. Selling, is a big major thing in America. Like right now, this is supposed to be Labor Day, but what do we have going on? Labor Day sales. Nobody's really talking about the true history of how Labor Day even got started. It actually got started by people having a parade back in like 1882, I believe, on September 5th. There were a lot of workers that got together because of the job conditions that they were working in, and they were actually trying to change the job conditions to be better for a lot of the workers out here that are in, labor jobs, labor unions. A lot of jobs don't have unions anymore. And what unions are, they are a group of people that get together that actually have the best interest of the actual employees. So they try to make sure that the working conditions are solid for the workers, because we know a lot of these jobs, they might take advantage of people. And so that's really why unions were started. Neo Sapiens said W Vibe, W Analyst. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, yeah, I just think that, the more we all come together, thank you for handling that, Kaman. And actually, yeah, you on your job. I appreciate you. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't ignore ourselves. And, sometimes we have like a higher voice, that we don't really recognize it right away, but that inner voice in us is telling us what we need to do. It's telling us, okay, we need rest today. Like, you physically are so exhausted and tired, but you're still trying to get up and go out here and make it happen. Maybe you need a day of rest. Maybe you need to rejuvenate your cells. Maybe you need a mental break so you can think clearly, so you can have creativity flowing for whatever you're doing. But if we don't ever give our mind a break, our creativity a chance to flow, then we become stagnated. So that's why the title of this video says Living Legends. Do not ignore yourself, right? Because you're the most powerful key player in your life. And without, your mental capacity to think clearly or to have your creativity flowing, you're going to get like blocked. You can have writer's block, creativity block. And especially if you are a naturally creative person, that can be very frustrating. I've gone through that many times in life where I had writer's block, but it's because of all the outside influences or all the distractions in regular everyday life. Thank you, Kaman. Yes, I recognize your energy. So I'm a big person that, I'm big on energy, reading energy. It transcends through just, I don't know, the screen. So if your energy is not right, that's another thing. We can't ignore that. That is your inner being telling you, stay away from these people, stay away from these group of people, stay away from that person, because they come to hinder you. And we don't have time. Where am I from? So I'm from America. We don't really have time for, stagnated energy or people to distract or disrupt what we're trying to do. Like, I notice when I come on the channel and I talk to y'all, because I am trying to convey a message. I get a lot of people coming being, disrespectful, rude, and wanting my energy. And I guess just trying to throw me off my path. But once you have exercised that ability to, continue to keep your focus in life, really, it's nothing that they really can do to distract you. And you handle it just in the snap of a finger. So nothing really can throw you off, what your target is. And that's one thing that I was talking about the other day from one of my friends from Dallas. She was saying that just by her knowing me over the last course of the years that we've known one another, basically, if there's something I set my mind to get it done, I do it. And that's another thing I want to share with y'all, because see, people really be going through things in life that they don't talk about. And people don't always know everything that you have going on in your personal life. When they want to criticize, judge you, ridicule you, distract you, and do all these things that that are a bunch of nonsense, basically. Like, I don't understand why people at work, or even in your regular life, they come on and they just try to be mean and negative for no reason. You don't know, this person could be combating or fighting a deadly disease. There have been people that had to go to work, and I know several individuals that my colleagues came to work while battling cancer. One of the women, and I can't understand this till this day, she was so pleasant. And every time I walked past her, she just had this aura of like just positive energy. So I noticed that, eventually she wasn't at work anymore. And then lo and behold, we got the email that she passed away due to cancer. And they had invited all of us to come out to her wake. And I did go to pay my respects, but I just couldn't understand how this lady used to come to work every single day, be so pleasant, and then she wasn't here anymore. I had no idea what she was battling. So that's why I'm saying you never know what a person is going through in their life. I remember I had a different job, and I was actually sitting at the desk of someone, and there were these twins that I was talking to, these Caucasian sisters, and they had blonde hair. They were about my height, a little bit taller than me, but I forgot their names. But they told me that the lady that used to sit at that desk, she was out on leave because she was battling cancer, y'all. So that's what I'm saying. People never know. Yes, come on. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it, but, she was a coworker of mine. I didn't really talk to her that much, but I did speak to her, and she was one of the more pleasant coworkers because sometimes you get those coworkers that, they act funny and they don't speak or they look at you crazy, and it's just all types of stuff that be going on with people, and who knows the reason why people act the way they do, but we don't really have time for that, and I try to be a person that whatever I'm going through, I try not to take it out on other people because you don't know what that person is battling with, especially like if you deal with the public. So I, for one, I've dealt with the public before, and I've come across a lot of rude people in my lifetime. I used to work at an amusement park. That was one of my first jobs when I was in high school. And I had a couple of people that were supposed to be adults that came up to my little kiosk and was just rude for no reason and lied on me to the manager, and I specifically remember these things, and I'm like, why would a person do that? People are just cruel out here sometimes. It's nothing that you can do to change people. So the best thing you can do is don't let them knock you off your course, because you came there to get your money. You didn't come there for somebody to basically throw you off your character out of character, because that's what a lot of people do. They come to basically try to distract you from what your goals are. And even if that means losing your job, not getting your paycheck or whatever it is, we don't have time for that. So continue to be a living legend for yourself. You don't know who is Devon Teal still trying to say stuff. If that's the case, block him from the channel, y'all, if you can. Yeah, block him from the ban him from the channel. We don't need that energy over here. This is another thing I want to say, that if it's something that you're growing or starting, like this YouTube channel that I am actually trying to grow and that I've been working on for a long period of time at this point, because I haven't been consistent, but I'm trying to be consistent every day. So there are going to be people that are going to want to grasp and take your energy for whatever reason, because like I said, they have something that's wrong with them mentally, emotionally, psychologically. I don't know what it is. It's not your job to figure it out, by the way. Um, you're going to run into that in many different aspects of your life. I don't care what platform it is. I don't care where you go. Yeah, I could tell you so many stories where I've had to deal with jealousy and envious neighbors, envious coworkers, jealous managers, envious family, unfortunately. Um, Thank you, Devon. No, I'm sorry, Kaman, for hiding him. I've had to deal with so much. That's why I can speak on these things. So when I come on and talk, it's not just for the sake of saying stuff. It's because I've actually gone through it. I've lived through it. I've been through it a multitude of times. And so now it's like basically when a person gets into the court side and they have to shoot, like you already know how to take a shot. All these distractions around you, you're going to make it into the net. That ball is going to go into that net because you've had so much practice in life. So hi, no more cults and labels. How are you? No more cults. I'm going to make you a moderator as well, so if you see any um, disrespectful comments in my comment section, go ahead and handle the business. No more cults and labels. So basically, there are people that come on a platform, and I do have to say this, a lot of people come on just to, what is it? They try to take advantage of people. They come on just to, what's the word I'm looking for? Take advantage of people, but also they don't really have life experience like that. And there are a couple of people with mental illness on the platform that's giving advice to people, and I think that's very dangerous. Um, I've seen people come on this channel, not this channel, but come on YouTube, and they are bipolar, and they've said that they were bipolar or they had some type of psychological issue. And y'all probably have seen these channels as well. And these are the same platforms going out here trying to give information and messages and advice to people, and that's a very dangerous thing. I think it's very dangerous also too, y'all, that anybody with a microphone and a camera now can come on social media and give misinformation. So I try to be very strategic in the things that I talk about and the way that I convey my message, y'all, because you don't know who's watching and you don't know who you are affecting or who may need to hear the message. You know, your words are very impactful, but your actions are even more impactful. So I also believe in setting the precedence to what you want to see in this world. So Brown Girls Are Beautiful holds basically a responsibility, especially because I also work with children. And, you know, children are very, they're very, what's the word, impressionable. So a lot of things you do and say, they pay attention and they are watching everything. I can't tell you the number of times when I walked in a classroom and those children are staring me up and down, paying attention to the jewelry I wear, how I wear my hair, what I'm wearing, what I say, how I interact with them, you know, how I talk to them. So how you navigate through this world and through this life really does matter, just like you're doing. Yes, zombie. It really does matter. People will remember you. You never know. You might be out in public one day and run across, like this happened to me. I was in the dollar store one day and I ran into one of the children, and she was telling her mom, she works at my school. She was speaking to me. She said, "Do you remember me?" And y'all, because I work with a multitude of children, I travel from school to school. I really did not remember that girl's name, but she remembered me. You know, I have so many faces to remember, but it's only one of me, so they can remember me. You know, I walk down the hallway, they're all speaking to me. They remember me. I don't remember all of them, but I wave back, I speak because it's all love. At the end of the day, people remember the energy that you pour into them. They remember how you made them feel. And it's very important to communicate with people that way. So you don't want people always ridiculing you, criticizing you because you're younger. I talk to the children just like they're little adults too, you know? You got to understand where they're coming from because you're shaping, and you know these are their very formulative years, and I think it's very important that we understand that as adults we do have a higher responsibility in our actions and in the things that we post on social media and what we say. It's just that if I saw you in real life, I would have to give you a big, big hug. Thank you. No more cults and labels. So yeah, that's just the energy that you know you convey and portray out here in the world. It does come back. And just don't ignore yourself. You know, put yourself first in every capacity, in every way that you can, even if it means like your schedule. So I try to have a schedule that allows me to be flexible to do all the things that I like to do. I try to have a flexible schedule to keep myself with plenty, as much freedom as possible in life. So substitute teaching, it's not the most lucrative field, but what it does give me is the flexibility to go in when I want, deal with whatever school I want to deal with, accept whatever assignment that I want for that day, or if I don't want to do it, I don't have to. It allows me to leave my schedule open for real estate if I have clients that I want to tend to. You know, and even having this platform for the different things that I do. So I do have a platform for my real estate as well. You know, just allows me to introduce myself to the clients, introduce myself to the world, because you just never know how that is going to impact someone. And just like the other day, I was at the grocery store and this, I think he's Asian. Yes, I think he's Asian. The Asian guy, because I was over there near the Asian cuisine, y'all. So he asked me one day, because I come in there so much, what do I do? So I told him, I said, I substitute teach in the area, but I haven't substitute taught this year yet, not this school year. But I told him I'm also a realtor. So he said, really? So he said, you can find me homes? I said, yes. So I pulled out one of my little flyers and gave it to him. So he looked at it. He said, I can reach out to you. I said, yes, you can. And so lo and behold, he found me on Facebook, y'all, because it had my phone number on there and my what is it? It had my Facebook, my phone number, my TikTok, my Instagram, and my emails. So you can always reach out to me in those capacities. So he found me on Facebook, and I didn't know he had messaged me because I'm not always on Facebook like that, y'all. So then he started, we started chatting, and he wanted me to look for houses for him and the zip code. And so we've been chatting thus far. So that's what I'm saying. Just putting yourself out there. This could be a potential client. Who knows what might come of that? Um, so always carrying yourself in a certain way, in a certain manner in public is putting yourself first, because like I said, you never know who's watching. Now, had I come around and, never spoke to him, but he always gets excited when I come around. Hi, and we always speak to one another. But just, making sure you present yourself in the best light, because anybody could be a client, anybody could be watching you, anybody could want to work with you. You don't know what opportunities there might be lurking around the corner. So it's very, very important that, you just really, really set that narrative for your life. That's what I call being a living legend, right? I don't set my standards by the standards of society, because society will get things misconstrued. Society will make you believe that you're failing in life if you really look at society, right? Society will make you think you have to be all these things and have all this stuff by the time you're X, Y, and Z age, when that's really not the trajectory of your life. You got to understand the universe works on us. The creators works on us at different times, different capacities in our lives. I didn't start getting my downloads, and I didn't start getting like I was tapping into something. Something was working on me like back in 2011. I think that's when it really started for me, and it might have started before then, but I know that I've always had this inner voice in me that knew that things were not right in the world. And I think a lot of us have that, even as children. Either you have it or you don't, and if you don't have it right now, you might get it later when people are saying that they got downloads, or either they were tapping in, right? So it hits all of us at different times. And a lot of these children, they already are like tapped in real soon and real fast because of the times that we're living in. That's why it's best not to be ignoring them, because they say a lot of things that are breathtaking, y'all. These children are very smart. And let me make sure my camera's not overheating, y'all, because it's in the sunlight. So, yeah, back in 2011, I started, getting downloads. And then also, I remember when 9/11 happened. I don't know if y'all remember 9/11, but I do. I was sitting at my desk at that same job that I was telling y'all about, and the Twin Towers, the planes allegedly hit. And I told myself right away, they tried to say, oh, bin Laden did this and this and that. I'm like, no, it's something that America did to those people. It was like I knew they weren't telling us the full story. So my thoughts were, America did something to these people, and those people were retaliating. But lo and behold, years later, I find out that this whole thing was pre orchestrated and pre planned, right? Because I did my research, but they took the videos down. There was a man from one of those foreign countries, and he was on the rooftop recording the whole thing. And he was celebrating when it happened. They also have holographic things that they do in the news and the media, if you're aware of that. And they can create scenes for us to make us think it's real. So once I found out years later that they basically detonated the buildings, and that a lot of people that came on, these videos, and they were talking about the truth, those people came up missing, y'all. So we cannot ignore ourselves, y'all, because when you ignore your inner voice, when you ignore these things that are going on inside of your mind, and people are making you think that you're crazy for thinking these things, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because you can't teach other people, you can't open or awaken other people if you shut that down within yourself. That's a part of being your own living legend, y'all. So that's just something I wanted to share. We can't ignore our voices. We can't ignore when we know this. We have the gift of discernment, and then they tell us to ignore these things. And a lot of us don't listen to our gut feeling, our gut instinct, which is in our stomachs. You get that queasiness for a reason. You get that shakiness for a reason. You feel anxious for a reason, y'all. Don't ignore it. I don't know why my camera's going dim. There's a plane flying overhead. I don't know if y'all can hear it. But yes, y'all, definitely, definitely, indeed. I just wanted to say don't ignore yourself. Don't ignore your energy. Don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore your interests. Don't ignore what makes you happy, where you feel peaceful. And especially if something is making you feel like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, don't ignore that feeling either, right? Because all these things are trying to guide you into the right direction for the right trajectory of your life, and if we all just could have a magic wand and foresee the future, I think all of us would play the lottery and just be rich and not do anything. But that's not how life works, right? So we got to go through it to get to it, some of us more than others. And I just don't want people to feel that because society told you this or society told you that, that this is what the definition of your life has to be. No, that's not the case. They have it misconstrued. All right. Society is not even real. It's something that they orchestrated. They orchestrate a lot of things. They orchestrate our news. They orchestrate the fake standards that they have set upon people. And we all know that everybody doesn't come from an even playing field, right? Just like when you go to the NASCAR. So the people on the inside have to start, I think they have to start further back because they're on the inside of the race line. And then the people that are starting further, they get to start more ahead because they're trying to even the playing field. Well, guess what? In life, we all don't come into this world with the even playing field. So, this is why you have a vantage point from where you are and you have to navigate your life accordingly. And there is nobody in society that can tell you how to do that but you. Go within you, right? Silence all the naysayers, silence all this stuff out here, and tap into your own universe. Tap into your own creativity, your own abilities, your own interests, all these things. It's almost like you got to be kind of selfish. And, just people don't even understand, the concept of being selfish, but not being mean about it. Being selfish means just putting yourself first, but not in a way that you are demoralizing to other people. um, put your rest first, your health first, your sleep first, what you put in your body, what, like, all the things that are going to make you happy and fulfilled. And a lot of times we feel like we got to push these things away, push this stuff to the side because, oh, we got to go handle this. Oh, we got to go to this job. Oh, they expect this from us. But you know what? This is your life. You get this one time in this physical body, in this physical realm. On this planet to do what you came here to do, and if you keep ignoring yourself, you'll never get it done. So we got to just, give ourselves the best freedom that we can. And I forgot his name. I think it was somebody said something about sales. Neo Sapien said about sales. Very true. Business is about seeking leverage, which is working less hard. Go from freelancing sales to automated sales. Very, very much true. Love that comment. So you have to actually get the recipe that works for your life. And it might look different for somebody else than it does for you. Your recipe might work for you, but it doesn't work for them. This is why I say all of these people that come on saying that they are coaches and they are one on one counselors and this and that. Let me tell y'all something about counseling and about therapists and about psychologists and psychiatrists. It's very interesting that they can tell you what you should do when they haven't walked in your shoes and when if they haven't actually been through what you've been through. And so sometimes, what's good, King Hazy? How you doing? King Hazy's in the building. It is very interesting that people can sit there because they have gone through school, but they haven't actually gone through things and challenges that you've been through in life and try to tell you what you should do and how you should feel. I remember, there was a time where I felt like, maybe I need to talk to someone. But then when you actually get in front of the person, first of all, don't ever go to a counselor that is of a different ethnicity than you, okay? Because we all have cultural differences and perspectives that we go through in life. So, a person that is from India is not going to have the same experience as a person that is, from America. A person that's from Europe might not have the same perspective as a person from Asia. So first we have to start there because that can be, I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm coming along. Trying to have a peaceful day today, King Hazy. So we have to actually pay attention to these details, right? And listening to them, they'll say, "Oh, you could be dealing with trauma, but your trauma isn't still happening today because this happened then, but you're still having effects of it now." Well, duh, we know this, okay? A lot of people go through that. How do we navigate through this is the question. And a lot of times, I really don't think these people have the answers. I'm just going to be honest because I always say if they cannot change your life, what's the point in talking to them? I'm just saying, if they don't have a magic wand to make these things stop, how is talking to them going to make it change? You can talk to yourself. You can talk to the spirits, the angels, the ancestors, the divine creators, a friend, a family member, a relative, a coworker, a colleague, whoever that you need to talk to. Write it out in a journal. You know, they're not ever they can't change your life, but people do this because they say it helps. Y'all, I did it a few times so I could get FMLA out of work, and I'm not even gonna lie and hide it. I went out on FMLA so I could get a break away from the job because I needed that mental rest from the job, y'all. So that's what I had to do. I put myself first. And I hope you all do the same. And there's no shame about it. These benefits are there on the job to be utilized, y'all. Not for you to be scared to use them. So that's my best advice that I could give to you is put you first, even if you have to use your benefits to do it. FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act. It is a federal um, act out there for people that have to go out. And it could be for medical reasons. It could be for mental reasons. It could be for family health care. You might have to take care of someone in your family. But a lot of times the job will pay you while you're out. And guess what I did while I was out? I told y'all what I did. I went and got my real estate license for the second time around. I also developed my clothing brand and I just built platforms for myself, and you can't be afraid to step out on faith when you know that something in you is guiding you to do other things. Something is telling you you're tired of doing something. How many times can you do something repetitiously over and over and over again before you feel like a machine, right? You want to do something different. There's nothing wrong with that. So those are my words of advice, y'all. Where I'm at today, let me see what degrees it is out here. I'm curious to know how y'all are doing, what the weather's like where you are. Please type it in the comment section. Where are you deriving from? Where's your city? Where are you located? It is, let's see, Dallas is 80 degrees. Shout out to Dallas, by the way, if we got anybody from Texas in the building. It is 76 degrees where I am, y'all. Las Vegas is 97 degrees. Milwaukee is 73. New York is 78. Mannheim is 69. And Virginia is 77. Those are all places that I've been, and I've saved them in my phone. You said it's 79 here in Baltimore. King Hazy. I can always tell when somebody is from Baltimore because of how they talk. 79 in the building. Baltimore, be more in the town. You know what, King Hazy? You know why I am upset? Because I think did they give y'all the CIAA? Did they bring CIAA to Baltimore? Because they took it from our city and I think they transported it to Baltimore. And I don't appreciate that. Do you participate in CIAA? I don't know. But yeah, that was a thing out here. We used to have CIAA every March. So they took it away and I think they sent it to Baltimore, which I can't understand why. Craziness to me, y'all. We have NASCAR out here. We have NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt. They've named the highway after Dale Earnhardt. Y'all, I'm about to come up out of this hoodie. I thought it was gonna be cooler because when I woke up, it was like chilly. So now that it is almost 80 degrees, I'm probably going to change my clothes again. They say, yes, y'all do. You see to and do. That's how I can always tell someone is from Baltimore. So I think, what's her name? Monique is from Baltimore. What's that woman, that comedian lady on the Breakfast Club? She's from Baltimore too. You can definitely hear it. Definitely. Who else? It's a lot of different people that's from Baltimore. Just hilarious. Yes, I definitely can tell. Y'all do say that all the time, and you can't hide it. Soon as somebody says those things, I'm like, "Oh, you from Baltimore, aren't you?" And they're like, "Oh, how did you know?" I'm like, "Because you said too." And yeah, yep, just hilarious. Y'all got it. Honestly, you can't help it. The people that are from like up north, oh my goodness, especially people from New York, automatically I know that they're from New York because they come here with these New York accents. Let's be clear. I'm like, you from Brooklyn. What part of New York are you from? Most of them are from Brooklyn. Most of the people I've met here are from Brooklyn. I'm trying to think where else. Brooklyn is the number one place that they come from. We get a lot of people from New York. Most of the people are from New York. I've met some people from Chicago. Um, some people from Florida. We've had people from Texas, California. Really, people from all around come here. We're like the number one growing city in the nation, y'all. So it's so interesting, and it's becoming like a little country New York melting pot around here. And I do like New York. I like Manhattan. I like New York. And the reason I like New York is because of all the diversity. It is the city that never sleeps, kind of like Las Vegas. But y'all, those two cities, I don't know what's going in Las Vegas, but that sewer, that smell of like sewage, it's it will hit you at night. And then also New York, I like New York, but they have those rats running around and they have a lot of trash on the streets. But I do like the New York energy. They say it's changed a lot recently. I haven't been in a while. Let me see. Somewhere that I would love to visit is Chicago. I was actually out in Milwaukee a few years ago. I guess the CIA came here because we have a new arena. Oh, so y'all have a new arena. Okay, so y'all want to show off. Okay. Well, shout out to y'all. Hopefully it'll bring in some money for Baltimore. I had a friend that was trying to work out there in Baltimore too, and he couldn't do it. I don't know why he would do such a thing, but he was traveling back and forth every day, and finally he didn't go back out there. But yeah, Baltimore. I haven't really spent much time there. I probably have rode through there, but I have been to Maryland. I've been out there. Uh, it seems pretty mellow in Maryland, but Baltimore, I heard it goes down in the B town. Okay, Crinky Fact says, "Hey, how are you? How are you?" Yeah, so I'm trying to think what experience that I have in Maryland. I did go to y'all have a casino too, I think in Maryland. I've been to the casino. Been to New Jersey, went to Atlantic City, of course, the tourist attraction. Went out there to the casino as well, walked the boardwalk. That was a very pleasurable experience. Been out there a couple of times. Thank you, Crinky. Where else have I been, y'all? Of course, DC. That sits right on the border. Delaware. I've been to the casino out there. Not that I'm a gambler, y'all. Just it was like a big trip that we took. Let me know if you come back or want to. Gotcha, King Hazy. Let me see what else. So New York, haven't been to Maine, y'all, but I did hear that haven't been to Maine or Massachusetts. I heard that Boston is interesting. Never crinky, you a trip. Never heard that never knew that Boston had a lot to offer, but from what I understand, people say Boston is interesting. Haven't been there. Would love to go there. I've been to Pennsylvania. I went through Philadelphia. Y'all. I remember riding through there at night. We got lost. It can get scary. Let me just say that. It can be very scary. Um I went to I think it was Allentown, Pennsylvania. I've been there a couple of times. One time I went up there to get a car. So that was interesting. Where else? Where else? I've been to Florida, but only just to visit. Well, not really to visit because we're going to the Bahamas, and the boat was docking from Florida. So I didn't really spend that much time in Florida. But y'all, thank you, Cranky. You are something else. Philly, like the same as Baltimore. Okay. But what I was going to say about Florida is they have the beautiful palm trees there. But when we were riding, I saw that they were burning the trees along the state, like the side of the interstate, and I didn't know why they would burn those beautiful trees down. You love Florida? Oh, here's the thing about Florida that is interesting. So in Florida, y'all, be careful with driving out there because I used to do insurance claims and a lot of hit and runs happen in Florida. A lot of people don't have insurance and a lot of times those people only have to have $10,000. It's the law. I don't know if they've changed it since then. They only have to have $10,000 in property damage coverage. So that means if they hit you and your car got totaled and your car was worth like 25 and these people that hit you only have 10, guess what? They cannot cover the entire cost of your car. They can only offer you up to the policy limits, which is $10,000. So that means if you don't have full coverage on that car, which hopefully you do, you're going to have to go through your own insurance carrier. And if not, then you can have to sue that person. And so they do what's called an asset search. The attorneys do what's called an asset search. They'll do an asset search to see if this person is worthy to be sued or not. Because if they don't have any assets, it's no point in suing them. It's going to cost more money to sue them than what they're even worth. So you could be out of it. You're just out of money. It's very terrifying to drive in Florida, y'all. I have seen so much working basically 7 years doing Florida insurance claims. A lot. A lot happened out there. And, a lot of people don't have driver's license. They have what's called a foreign operator's license. So a lot of people from like, out of the country drive in Florida. They get pulled over or they cause an accident. They didn't have a driver's license. They have what's called a foreign operator's license, y'all. Just in case you didn't know that, they don't have to carry bodily injury on the policy. So what does that mean? If they cause the accident and they hit you and you get injured, right? Or someone in your vehicle gets injured, they don't have to have bodily injury on their policy, so that means their insurance company doesn't have to pay for your medical injuries. So I don't know if y'all knew that about Florida, but I know it, and that's why I say I would never drive in Florida. I refuse to drive in Florida. Yeah, I just taught you something. I didn't know it either until I started doing these insurance claims. Do you know how many angry customers we had? What do you mean? I mean, we had because we had drivers that would cause like a 2 or 3 car collision, like a domino effect. Like this person hit this person and they ran into the next. And if our driver was at fault, we had to call each and every one of these drivers, owners of these vehicles, and explain that scenario to them. Do you know how many people were upset and mad? I mean, and all I could tell them was, "I'm sorry, these are the statutes in your state. You can reach out to your state legislation." They would be so upset, y'all. It was not fun having to deal with that. You drove from here to Florida in 2023, long, long drive. I am sure that is one drive, King Hazy, I don't think I would take. I'm sorry. My limit is between 4 to 6 hours. After 6 hours, we're getting on a flight. I'm not doing it. I am not. I think the longest I've driven was to Atlanta. That was about, I think, 8 hours. That was 8 hours. Yeah, that was 8 hours. I don't think I would do any longer than that. You said stop ignoring the chat. I don't think I would do any longer than 6 hours, honestly. And that's pushing it. Be respectful or be blocked. Thank you, King Hazy, for checking it. Um, I've gone to Dallas a few times, Las Vegas, of course. I have yet to get to California. I would love to visit LA. Now that the LA fires have taken place, I'm sure things look differently now, but I want to go to Santa Monica Beach. That was on my list. I want to go to Hawaii. I am curious as to know what Alaska's like because I heard somebody tell me that they used to live in Alaska and they liked it, but the darkness does last for days at a time, so people can fall into like depression. But I just would like to experience different things. Toronto, I heard was nice. I want to go to Canada as well. Shout out to Toronto and the Canadians. Y'all, they have healthcare for everyone Free healthcare, y'all, is something that we don't have. And I noticed that the Canadians always seem to be in an upbeat mood. I used to work with a Canadian lady, and she was always in such a good mood. I think that they, have like, I don't know, just a different vibe in Canada. So that's somewhere I would like to visit. I would also like to go to some part of Asia, whether it's Japan. I heard a lot of people are going to Thailand, but just somewhere different like that. And of course, Africa's on the list, y'all. I was talking to some Africans not too long ago. A couple of them were from, where is it? A lot of people here are from Nigeria. I've been running into a lot of Africans here. Nigeria is like in West Africa, Liberia is in West Africa, Senegal, that's also in West Africa. And when they come here, they seem to like it. And I always ask, what brought you here? I've met a guy that was from South Africa, and he had a kiosk at the mall. And what he would do, he would come here. He had dual citizenship, so he would sell the clothes at the kiosk and then go back to his country. But one day I went back looking for him, and he was gone, never to return, y'all. I remember him, and he said, "If you ever want to go to Africa, let me know." I just want to travel different parts of the world. So if you don't have your passport, y'all, it's a very simple process. Just go to the post office, get your application, fill it out, turn it in, fill out the form. You do need your birth certificate and let me see what else. Oh, a headshot. So it's pretty seamless, pretty easy. I think the fee was not that bad. Like it was under $200, I believe, and you can have your passport. Doesn't take too long to get. What you say? Mods run channels telling by the views. I can see they're doing a bang up job. Not sure what that means, but I appreciate your input and your engagement. So, y'all, how long have I been on here? 51 minutes, almost an hour. Of course, you know that I'm about to get something to eat because mir ist hungrig. I think that's how you say it in German or auf Deutsch. I am hungry, of course. So I'm thinking about what I want to eat. What are y'all eating today? Are y'all cooking out? I don't know. I didn't make it to my sister's cookout, but I tried to FaceTime her, y'all. She just FaceTimed me back last night, but I was knocked out. So I just want to see how it turned out. I'm pretty sure she got some video footage of it. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what I want to eat. I'm thinking maybe like a vegan burger. That sounds good, and some sweet potato fries. Something like that might do good. My friend hit me up. Let me see what she's doing. She might want to go get something to eat. She hit me up. She was like, BGAB. I hit her back. I said, "Hey, Queen." That's what I call her, Queen. Her name is Queen, y'all. No, I've met one person whose real name was Queen, and that was one of my former supervisors. Her actual real name was Queen. I'm not gonna say her last name, but yeah, that was interesting. And she was an elderly lady by then. But y'all, I'm getting hot. Okay, mir ist heiß. That means I'm hot in German. So I'm gonna probably go in here and take this off, and I don't know, I might just leave the tank top on and take the hoodie off because I'm getting hot. I'm overheated, y'all. I overdressed. Okay. Shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to the chat, to all the people that joined on. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you for tuning in. Continue to walk in your divinity. Be the living legend in your life, y'all. You set the precedence. And y'all continue to celebrate yourself. Until next time, you all stay blessed. All right. Talk to y'all later.